Oh, I hate showing off. Oh my guys.
If you don't tell them, we'll just be three random people on YouTube. Hi everyone, my name is Anki.
And I'm Cameron.
I'm Amanda.
And we're tutors here at Simply English Tutoring. So basically what this video is going to be about is just showing you guys how to get the best mark possible by using the next 6 weeks, which is coming up, as wisely as you can. So we're going to be sharing tips with, stuff that we did that we found worked and stuff that we wish we did and we didn't do. Is this the moment where we show off to show these kids that we actually know what we're talking about? Show off. What did you get for your English?
Oh, I hate showing off. Oh my guys.
If you don't tell them, we'll just be three random people on
true.
YouTube. Think about it like that.
Okay, so I got a 96 for my English Advanced and a 47 for my English Extension. I don't even remember my mark for English Extension.
No, that's fair. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah. And you did 4-unit English?
Yeah, and I did 4-unit English.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So I got a 90... Oh my god, this was so long ago.
Yeah.
I got a 94 for my English Advanced and I got a 48 for my Extension 1. And I also did Extension 2, but I don't remember what I got.
I don't remember what I got.
Yeah.
It's been like,
Yeah.
marking so
It's a long time ago for me. Not so much for you.
I just erased my memories of high school.
It's only been 12 months. Yeah. Okay, sure. And overall, I got a 99.55 in the end.
Oh my god.
And I got 93 for Advanced English and 47 for Extension English. And my in the end ATAR was bang on the dot 99.
Wow, there we go. Now that we've hopefully convinced you guys that we know what we're talking about, we're going to tell you how to use 6 weeks well. Like, after this, they don't really have any more protected time, do they? As in,
No.
Not really, do they?
They don't?
No, because what happens in the holidays after this? You gotta just have assignments and assessments.
You're in the wilderness then, you don't have time to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Already.
We've all kind of came together, discussed it, and we've come up with 2 things that we did, and then also 1 thing that we wish we did. Cameron, go for it.
Yeah, so look, I reckon there are 3 things that really need to be done, 2 of which I did do, 1 of which I didn't do. First 2 things which I did do, the first one was I read all my texts during the holidays. That's the text that I use later on in the year. I think that's a really important thing to do just because you won't have the time to invest 3-4 hours of reading every day for a few days. Later on down the track, you should be using that on other subjects or in revising your English essays or whatever. Second thing that I did was I made sure that my common module essay, which for me was discovery, was polished and ready to go for the trials. Because again, I wouldn't have that time in the trials coming up and I knew that was going to be a problem. So getting over that hump is really important in the holidays and making sure that you have your common module done by the end is essential. The thing I didn't do, which I wish I had done, was have a sort of study plan for the rest of the year. I didn't really sort of forecast what my demands on my study time were going to be. And that meant that I studied more inefficiently than I could have done. So I think if you did do that as well, it would really make sure that you got the best marks you could.
Didn't want to disrupt you halfway, but our mic was on mute for the last 5 minutes, so we're gonna have to rely on crappy video audio for a while. But hopefully, from that point where I turn on the mic, the sound quality is studio, as Blue Yeti promised in their advertising.
I just had a whole monologue there.
No. I think those points were really, really good. I also read all my texts. Did you read all your texts?
Yeah, I read all my texts.
Yeah. I really enjoyed my texts. I know that sounds really, hard to believe, but I really enjoyed all of my texts.
Yeah, me too. It makes English sort of survivable.
I think doing your essay during that time is really important too. Yeah.
Oh.
And just to send it to someone who can help you, that's also really, really important. Okay, so moving on to my points. So basically, I wrote all of my notes during those 6 weeks. So I did 4 units of English, 4 units of maths, biology and chemistry, and Amanda's slowly shaking her head. For both of my sciences, I literally sat down with all of the dot points and I actually addressed every single one of them.
Yeah, I did mine all in Chat 4.
Holy! What else? I did a lot of trial papers during the 6 weeks. This is for biology, chem, as well as maths and English. I just bought those, you know, those Excel books, the ones that come in those subjects.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
all the papers
Yes.
from like It's like a little bit trickier now that they have the new syllabus because they have less like trial papers to go through.
That's true.
But if you really read through the syllabus for every subject, it's actually quite similar. So there's a lot of like overlaps in terms of the sciences as well as like English and maths. Even if you just do the past papers for so the years that had the old syllabus, it would still be really, really helpful. And that way it was actually a really quick way to just know what you don't know. And that's really important. Because the worst thing is if you don't know what you don't know, because then you have no idea what to study for. So it's a lot more efficient to do it that way rather than just studying the entire thing over and over again. Because why waste time when you like already mastered a particular dot point? So the one thing that I wish I did, but I really didn't do, was how to set like better goals. So I think I just, honestly, I think I sat down and I was just like, I'm going to do all my notes for bio. And that was like my goal
Oh my god.
for the day. I don't think I ever learnt this skill in high school though. It was really after high school when life got a lot busier and I was trying to balance like medicine with just like work, and then it's a lot easier. Things get a lot easier when you break down what you have to do into each individual activity. So instead of being like, I'm going to do my bio notes, it's more like I'm going to do these 3 dot points, take a break, and then do these 3 dot points. So that way, like, I think you have more of a sense of achievement as well.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
So really set your syllabus, like, you know, you set your goals really clear, like research syllabus point number 1, and I'm going to paraphrase this in about 300 words. So then you know exactly what you need to do.
I think one thing I'd add on to that would be, for me, I found that when it comes to making notes, it's a very easy form of study. If you just put some music on your headphones, you just sit down and work. It can be quite enjoyable when you have that, you know, some music and you might be with friends or something like that. And that kind of easy form of study, it's really good to get over with early on in the piece so you can focus on the more important things like past papers later on.
With the friend thing, do you really reckon like studying with friends is helpful?
No.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like studying with friends is usually like a huge distraction.
I study without friends.
Oh no, I always study without friends.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. You gotta make yourself uncomfortable. A little bit uncomfortable. A little bit of stress is always good. If you study like next to like a bed or something, you will probably go to bed. Because I did that a lot.
I just shut myself in somewhere like a study. I had a study.
Oh, okay.
So there was no bed in there, so I just like shut myself in, like play some music, dark room.
Dark
You
room.
sound like and I just like hunch and just do my work.
You sound like a troll.
Alright, so something that we kind of talked about is I never went to study in somewhere where I know that I would get distracted. So if my friends asked me to go studying, I'd be like, hey, look, sorry, I'm going to study in my house, in my dark room. So that really helped me with just not wasting my time and getting that false sense of accomplishment. Like, yeah, I went to study today, let me relax at home. After like actually just gossiping for 2 hours. Another thing just related to English is in that holiday, I started writing all my drafts for my essays. So even though you might not have like a lot of questions, or even though you might not be too sure, you can always write your essays based off the syllabus. Because it is really important to show your marker that you do have an understanding of what the syllabus wants from you. So it's really good to just know your syllabus in and out and also just incorporate it into your essays.
Honestly, like, another thing that I just reminded was also I just like made up fake questions based on the syllabus.
Oh, yeah, no, that's always an option as well.
Right?
I
Yeah.
never did that, but like...
Because the question comes from the syllabus.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't have a question that's not in the syllabus.
Yeah, no, like, I remember during my HSC, I could quote every single English syllabus.
Memorized it?
Yeah, I memorized it all.
That's how you get a 96, guys.
Yeah, I just memorized, like, the syllabus.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so one thing I wish I did better was, I wish I realized the value of looking at critics more. Yeah, so I think my mindset in high school was just like, okay, I just need to find this random person with a quote that's going to fit in my paragraph. I didn't really think about it as just having knowledge that was one level higher of what I needed to know. Yeah, and then I felt like that knowledge would have really helped me just analyze my text better and just get my point across better. And even though your teachers like smack you down about Wikipedia, I actually find that it's a good place to start. So obviously don't just like read the article and be like, yep, this is my Bible.
That's my research.
Like, scroll down to like the references.
Yeah.
And then you have like a lot of good stuff in there.
Wikipedia references saved my life.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I should be revealing this, but even in medical school, Wikipedia has saved my life multiple times. It's actually pretty reliable because you can't, like, who's going to really go around on all of the
fake reference.
Exactly,
Yeah.
literally, just like write false information on there. No, but I think that comment on critics is really important. Because the other thing is, when you find a really good critic, I know some of them can sound really like
pretentious and
you know, hoity-toity. But like they phrase things really nicely. Like I've many a time appropriated a particular phrasing.
I think that's true. There is some elegance to how they write, but one thing I'd bear in mind is that oftentimes they're writing in a situation which doesn't have the intensity of an exam. So, for example, they tend to write very, very long and winding sentences, which might have their own elegance to them, but at the same time, I wouldn't advise you to try and do it yourself. Just because simplicity is beauty when it comes to English essays. But it's good to lift ideas and maybe certain ways of phrasing from them, but it also must be done in bearing in mind that you're writing a totally different paradigm to them.
I totally understand. I think don't sound pretentious, guys. Hate that so much. Yeah, and also I think it's not just for English. I think in terms of critics and stuff, I think it's like even for your sciences, like don't look at say high school resources if you can get access to like a slightly higher level than that, because the information will just be more complete. And like it's like if you're only going to be studying this much information and you forget like 20% of it, then you're only going to be able to do that well in the exam. Whereas if you study like a little bit outside of what you're required to know, chances are you'll be constructing a more sophisticated response.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. Like when I started uni, for example, like chemistry, suddenly I just got high school chem so much more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
I was just like, oh, so this is why.
Yeah. If you learn the harder one, the easier one will be easier to do. That sentence sounded really
I think reading other people's opinions as well helps you form your own one.
So much. All of my best thoughts and ideas were after I read someone else's really good thought. I don't think there's anything as like original thought.
I agree with you.
Oh really?
Yeah, I do.
Oh yeah, cool. Don't feel the need to be original. I think that's the thing. Every time I tried being original, my essay always got really low marks.
No, it sounds really pretentious when you're trying to be original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the fact is in some ways the agency is very, very low ambition and they just want you to be able to reflect that you can do those basic tasks like understanding and reflecting the syllabus. But in saying that, there are certain areas where having critics is very useful and they do give you a little bit of freedom. For example, Mod B, I think is the best example.
I think, how do we summarize that? Prepare.
Read.
Set goals.
Set small, manageable goals.
Oh yeah. Yes. Otherwise you just feel like me. Do all bio syllabus.
I don't know if it is small manageable goals. I think there's still an overarching goal, which is to get it done, and you just say, well, I have an hour now, I'm just going to do this dot point.
So break your big task down. You need to know what your big task is, and then you chop it down to like the tiniest slices, and it'll be a lot more manageable. For example, this morning my first goal was to wake up.
Yeah.
Get out of bed. That was my goal.
I think that's my ultimate achievement every day.
My goal was to be here on time.
Stop.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's only going to work if you actually do exactly as we say. Don't give yourself any excuses. That's the other thing, honestly, in just for life in general. Don't give yourself excuses. Exactly. But if you manage to do all of those things, I highly doubt you're going to get like less than a band 6 in your English.
Yeah.
And honestly, like if you do all of those things really well, like 99 is 100% within your reach. So
Yeah, just remember it's Nietzsche, self-overcoming self. That's what I want to do.
and this is where we start revealing we're English tutors when we say things like this. Like and subscribe, and you can ring a little bell if this was helpful, and we'll keep putting out videos just trying to help you do the best you can for your HSC, especially in English. Alright, see you next time, guys!
Bye.